lot here. Yeah, alright. Right, yes. So, name's Chuck Pringles. Yeah, I know, laugh it up, eh? Mom always said I had a chip on my shoulder too. Embarrassed me in front of my friends. But here I am, Chuck Pringles. And this is how I became a corporate enforcement officer. Guess I'll start from the beginning. I'm a man, just like anyone else. Bit down on my luck, you know. Need a job. Need to get back on my feet, doing something again. So, what do? I start looking for jobs, and first name pops up, catches my eye. Corporate Enforcement Officer. Now there's a title, I say. Now, at the very least, I'm hoping maybe I can go to the bar and tell the boys, yeah, I'm a corporate enforcement officer, or maybe it'll work with the ladies, you know. But I'm no fool. I know it's probably some shit job with a fancy title, sitting around babysitting 40-year-old nothings that do nothing in a cubicle all day, something like that. But I figure, you know, why the hell not? So, put my name in the ring. Say, why not? Get a call next day. Say, Chuck, like what we see. Why don't you come in for an interview? I'm like, alright, sounds fair. Next day. So I go in. I think the guy who greets me, his name's Tony, something like that. Hard to remember. Interview didn't go very well, I'll tell you that. But it was the hardest interview. So Tony comes up to me, brings me to a back room, and he says, you know what, Chuck? I think you're a fucking bitch. And I'm like, what? And I give him the benefit of the doubt. I say, what did you just say to me, Tony? And he said, Chuck, I think you're a fucking bitch. And I'm like, this cheeky fucker. What does he think I am? And I'm a man, just like anyone else. And I ain't gonna be called a bitch to my face. So, I go up and deck the guy in the face. That's right, I just punch him straight in the face, he goes down. And that was the end of it. Walked out after that. Didn't think there was a reason for me to stick around. My interview's over, eh? Ain't gonna hire me after that. I've made a mess of things, as I usually do. Go home. I figure why? Well, have a couple of beers in the night. Get a call next day. Hey Chuck, we like what we see. We would like to offer you a job. And I'd like to say I stopped and thought, what the hell's going on? But, hey, I was desperate. And I'm not gonna lie, it piqued my interest a bit. What kind of fucking job where I deck the guy in the face and they think they like what they see and they want me to come in and start the next day? So, again, I'm like, well, at the very least I can tell my boys a story. Better see where this leads, eh? And they're offering me a job, and I need one, so go in next day, see what happens. Guy named Ron greets me, brings me to the back, says, alright, Chuck, here's the deal. Your job is to make sure our employees hit their metrics by the end of the quarter. And you're going to be paid according to how many people you can get to hit their metrics. $5,000 a name. Well, I have to say, $5,000 a name, that's not too shabby. He hands me a list of 20 names, and he says these 20 names are the people right now, and we don't think are going to hit the metrics. So, it's on you. And I was like, okay, how do I do that? And he says, you can, and I quote, you can use any means, any possible means to get these guys to reach their metrics. Any power you have under your disposal, have at it. And I'm saying, you sure? And he said, I'm sure. I have confidence in you, Chuck. We liked what we say. And he walks out. So here I have a list with 20 names on it. And I'm thinking, I get 2 names on this list. And that's more money than I've ever seen in a month's work. So, if there's a job to be done, I'm the one to do it. First name on the list, guy named Chet, I think. So I think, why not go have a chat with Chet? Try the direct approach. Ask him nicely. So I go talk with Chet. Say, hey Chet, here's the deal. It's my job to make sure you do your job. If you get your numbers done, I get my numbers done. Everybody wins, eh? Chet didn't like that. He said, and I quote, "Fuck off. If corporate wants me to hit my numbers, they're going to have to twist my nipples off and stick them to my forehead." Yeah, that's a direct quote. I think I remember that right. Well, I walk away after that because I'm not quite sure what to say, and I have myself a little think. But I'm thinking, what a fucking idiot. He just told me everything I need to know to get him to hit his numbers, eh? So, I hit up my friend. Old chum of mine. Goes by the name of James. Always up for an adventure. Doesn't ask too many questions. Perfect for the job. And I say, hey James, if you can help me with this boy Chet, then I'll cut you in. I'm going to be coming into some money soon, and I'll give you 5%. James asks for 20%. And I say, he's always been a faithful friend. So I say, okay, why not? This time, 20%. So I go and get James. Plan simple enough. We wait until Chet's out of the office and walk into his car in the parking lot. My friend James, he's a bit of a beaver, so he's able to conk him on the head, and that's that. We have Chet knocked out. Take Chet the chunk, bring him to my home, stick him in the basement. We get him downstairs and tied up in a chair, and I bring my toolkit down. And that's when I think, you know what? I'm a nice guy. No reason to make the guy suffer. So, while he's sleeping, I take out my handy pair of shears, and I gotta tell you, there's no end to the uses you have with a handy pair of shears if you keep them sharp. Take off the guy's shirt, snip, snip, just like that. Nip is off. Like I say, the shears worked perfectly. I thought it was going to be a bit messy, but they came right off. No problem. The guy had some big nipples, 2 big puffy ones, so nice shape to cut. Quite even, if I do say so myself. Never done something like that. And sure, there was a bit of blood. It was a bit messy, but we got that dried up real quick. Put some bandages on. No harm done. At this point, Chet's awake. And he's screaming a bit. And I'm trying to calm him down. Say, hey, mate, don't worry. We're going to get you to hit your numbers. But the trick was to get the nipples onto his head. Because one, he's still panicking. I can't blame the guy. Someone tried to cut my nipples off, so I was supposed to be a little peeved. But the only thing we could get to work was rubber cement. Elmer's glue wasn't cutting it. So I had James hold him back, use some rubber cement, stick his nipples to his forehead. looks pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, I had myself a bit of a laugh. Me and James are laughing. And I'm like, alright, Chet, how about it, eh? We chopped your nipples off and stuck them to your forehead. You gonna hit your numbers or what? Well, turns out, cutting someone's nipples off counts as assault. How was I supposed to know? All I know is James told me that that's what you had to do in order to get him to hit his numbers, and they told me I could use any means under my purview to get the job done. I thought I'd done a perfect job. But James calls the place. They start interviewing. Job tells me to go home and they'll sort this out, and we'll see what happens. But I'm thinking I'm done, right? I've caused a mess, maybe some money for the company. Get a call next day. Hey Chuck, we like what we see. You're a cold bastard. We like that. Keep it up. We're going to increase the bonus you get for each name up to 10,000. And I'm like, right on. Finally, some luck in the world goes my way. I do my job. I do it well. I get rewarded. That's what it's all about. The American dream. So I come back to work. They only told me to take a week off and come back wait till things die down, come back. I come back. Whew. I figured, I don't know if James has counted, so I figured time to start on the list again. Next name in the list, lady named Jane. Now, this one is interesting, so I figured I'll try the direct approach again. Maybe it didn't work with Chet, but it might work with Jane. So, I can't find Jane all day, and it isn't until night when she's leaving when I finally found I found a picture of her and I recognized her walking out the door to her car. So I figured, okay, here's the time. Try the direct approach. She probably might not be the best time, but whatever. So I'm trying to catch up. It's dark. It's in the parking lot, and I'm trying to be silent, but I don't want to startle her. But she's getting to her car, and it's looking like she's going to get in the car and get away before I can get to her. So I'm about 10 feet away, and I say, "Hey!" Maybe a bit too strong. But you know what that bitch does? She turns away and pepper sprays me in the face. The bitch fucking pepper sprays me in the face. So I go down. Not only that, she kicks me in the nuts. She pepper sprays me, I go down, she kicks me in the nuts, she gets in the car and drives off just like that. So I'm sitting thinking, oh, fuck, one, this hurts you. If you've been hit by pepper spray, that shit's for real. Two, guess the nice price didn't work. Called my buddy James. Say, hey, 10% this time. You're already getting your money. He says, okay, 10%. So I figured the only thing that went wrong last time was I let her to that I was there. So we wait again. She's going to her car after work. Go out. James beefs her. Knocks her out cold. To be fair, I didn't really have a plan at that point, but stroke of luck, really. She was on the phone at the time. She dropped her phone when James beefed her. So I pick up the phone, and I think, hey, I have access to her phone. Why not have a poke around, eh? See what the deal is. So I look at her phone, check her messages. Wow. Didn't take too long to figure out she was having an affair. A Stevie one, mind you. From the looks of it. I think, hey, job's done. I didn't really have a plan after, so we ended up not putting her in the trunk and taking her to the basement. We just left her there. And I must admit, in a moment of shame, I wanted to get revenge and I kicked her in the tits. I still think pepper spray's much worse than a kick in the tits. So, but I think a little blackmail the next day, that'll do the trick. Wait till she calms down. She'll come in, we'll talk about it. I'll say, hey, I know about your affair. We can work this out. You'll hit your numbers, everyone wins. So I'll come in next day. And I finally find out what Jane's workstation is. And I think I'm being smooth, you see. I walk up, and I want to be discreet. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too quick. So I walk up behind Jane, and I whisper in her ear, I know about your affair. You know what the bitch does? She fucking pepper sprays me in the face again. That's number 2. I go down again. She kicks me in the nuts again. So as far as I'm concerned, she came out on top of the situation, and that's not cool at all. She called in HR. They didn't like it. Work tells me to go home. They'll figure it all out. And I'm thinking, 2 in a row. I'm probably costing these guys money. Probably done. Maybe that's it. Maybe this isn't the career for me. Pepper sprayed twice. Get a call. Next day. Chuck, that was amazing. We like what we see. We would like to promote you to District Corporate Enforcement Officer. I say, fuck yeah. I'm in.